Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Thomas, and today I'll be showing another completed batch of rocks that I did. Now, a few things before we begin. First, it's storming out, so you might hear some thunder in this video. Second, this probably isn't going to be the most interesting batch of rocks, and that's because there's obviously this big rock in there, and I didn't want any other rocks to really get damaged by it. So there's still some really neat rocks in this batch, and I'm really happy with how this big one turned out, so we'll take a look at that in just a second. And then finally, I'm hoping this is the last one of these for a little while. I want to kind of save up on them for the winter, so I'm not scrambling to try to come up with ideas for videos. So expect a lot more rock cutting content, rock hounding, that sort of thing. And then I've got a few other projects that I'm working on. Anyway, let's get into these. And we'll start with the one that's probably got everyone's attention by now. This is another piece of banded Chert. And this one might have spent 7 months from start to finish, but not all that time was spent in the tumbler. Some of it was spent waiting for a barrel to be empty. And I didn't want to, since this is such a big rock, I didn't want it to damage any other more interesting rocks like agates or stuff like that. So I've got just all kinds of different rocks in there, but it took a really nice shine. It's kind of interesting. You can definitely see, like there's a definite difference in shine between like the, I guess, black and white parts versus like the tan parts. Like you could see just where the light bends on there. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And like the back still took a really nice shine, but it's not quite as shiny as the front and this black and white part. It reminds me of a drawing that I did for one of my classes one time. I don't know if I've ever shown my drawings. I haven't done any lately, but I used to do quite a bit of them. But this reminds me of like a curved line drawing that I did. And I found this one in Michigan. Some other rocks that I found in Michigan that are quite famous there are pudding stones. And these are kind of interesting because the matrix is really hit or miss on them. So you can see like there's a ton of spots that undercut on these. But then like the jasper pieces really shined up nice. And then here's the other one that I found. I just love this banded jasper. I know this one was found on my Michigan trip. It's weird because this crack here undercut, but the rest of it turned out really well. I'm pretty pleased with that. This one here looks like another piece of banded Chert, but I think this one I actually found here in Minnesota. And I'm not sure where this one was found, but it looks like it has a fossil in it. I have no idea what this one is, but it's really pretty and it took an excellent shine. Here's my version of a pudding stone. This is some sort of jasper. Here's another piece of jasper. This is a really neat rock. I really like this one. It just has some really interesting patterns on it. And here's why I picked kind of less interesting rocks. Here's a good example of why I did that. You see how the edges of this are all kind of white like that? I'm not sure what the proper term for that is, but that's just from getting banged around too much in the tumbler. And it happened with this one too. And this one has it really bad. So I would have been pretty devastated if that happened to like a really nice agate or something. So that's why I picked sort of, I mean there's still some really, really interesting rocks. This one I really like, this piece of jasper here. This one has a lightning bolt in it. See that little ding on there? That was probably caused by that bigger rock. That one might be a moss agate. Pretty, whatever it is. Here's another piece of banded chert. This one didn't turn out as well. You can see it, this part isn't as shiny as like the edges. Clear piece of quartz. is what's called oolitic jasper. It's got these little dots in there. This is another one that just, I mean, it's shiny, but it's not as shiny as like this last piece. Same with this one, matte shine. I think this is a piece of prehnite from Michigan. This one I know for a fact is a Lake Superior agate. This one's a sagonite agate. So it's got those sprays in there. Not the most interesting one though. Well, I think that'll about do it for this week. Thanks so much for watching. See you next week.